And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick time out and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for NFL football week 14. And of course, this is our Thanksgiving Day edition. But before we dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, just got to quickly remind you once again that we are 5-1 in our last 6 Underdog tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to access our Underdog tier package, it's only going to cost you just $4.99. We also went 2-1 in our last 3 NFL tier package picks on that site as well. Now you might be wondering, why would I sign up for picks on Patreon where I can get them all just for free right here on YouTube? And that's certainly a great thought, a great concern. If I were you, if I was in your position, if I was in your shoes right now watching this video, watching me, I'd probably be thinking the same thing. So we're on the same page there. But let me tell you this. If you were to go out there and bet every single game that's on the board, side and total, like I do right here with my breakdowns here on YouTube, it's certainly not a winning formula for success. I don't recommend doing that with your hard-earned money. And as a matter of fact, doing that would be a recipe for disaster. The books are way too smart. They're way too sharp with the numbers. The odds become massively more against you the more games you bet like that. And to be honest with you, the bookies just have just so much more money than you do to be able to absorb that type of action. You're absolutely no threat firing away, throwing darts, betting every single game. So what I do on Patreon is I break it down and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way versus wagering on every single competition on the slate, side and total. Now, if you're curious and you want to know, a little bit more about it, do people actually sign up? Guys, we currently have over 750 members signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I strongly recommend it. I would love to have you. And the link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Moving on, we're going to take a look at some NFC East divisional competition here. I'm talking about Washington versus Dallas, 4:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff at Jerry World. And the Cowboys are the 3.5-point favorite at home. Totals 46. Now the Cowboys have lost 4 out of their last 5 ball games, and they failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 at home. Now the Cowboys defense is giving up 37 points a game at Jerry World and nearly 165 yards rushing. Now the Cowboys pass rush has just 19 sacks on the season, less than 2 sacks a game they're averaging. The Cowboys secondary also has a piddly 3 interceptions through 10 ball games, just 7 total takeaways on the year as well. Now Dallas is in the top 3 in most first quarter points allowed. They're also in the top 3 in most second quarter points allowed at home. The Cowboys were also one of the worst covering teams in the league, just 2-8 against the spread in this 2020 campaign. Now, Sean Lee's back on the IR. No surprise there. Dude should have retired 5 seasons ago. Smith, Collins, and Hill are on the IR as well. Meanwhile, on the Washington side, Lucas, Everett, Norris, and Anderson are questionable for the game this Thursday. Having said all that, though, this Washington football team, they're starting to play some pretty good football over the past couple of weeks. They're coming fresh off a 20-9 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals, where they knocked out Joe Burrow, actually knocked him out for the season. They've also won 2 out of their last 4, and that's going to include a 23-20 victory over these very Dallas Cowboys. The football team successfully covered the number in 3 out of their last 5. This Washington defense is in the top 10 in the league in fewest points allowed. They're also in the top 3 in fewest pass yards allowed as well. This Washington D is giving up just 22 points per contest and only 195 yards a game passing. Now, Kendall Fuller has 4 interceptions out of this Washington secondary, 7 PBUs and 24 total tackles for the cornerback. Montez Sweat also has 6 sacks off of this Washington D-line, 2 forced fumbles and 26 total tackles for for Sweat. And linebacker Jonathan Bostic currently has 69 total tackles, along with a couple of sacks and 4 TFLs. The football team ranks in the top 3 in fewest third quarter points allowed. And they're also in the top 5 in fewest fourth quarter points allowed as well. So doing a good job, kind of shutting things down at the end, at least defensively. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Washington's last 3 ball games got over the posted number. 2 out of Washington's last 4 road games also got over the line. Meanwhile, the Cowboys are 60% to the over on their home turf this season. 8 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Washington also got over the line. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward yet another underdog covering the number. Dallas might win this one outright, but I think the football team should keep it close. Give me the underdog Washington football team plus 3.5 and the over 46 in that game. And with that, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. Ravens-Steelers, 8:20 p.m. Eastern kickoff at Heinz Field in the Steel City. The Steelers are the 3.5-point favorite at home. Totals 45. Now, Pittsburgh